Hey everyone, welcome back to Unfiltered. I'm your host, Lady G, and today we got a real treat for you. Joining me here is none other than All Day Ray, the host of the incredibly popular Confessions of a Market Maker podcast. Now, if you're a fan of Confessions of a Market Maker, you're definitely familiar with Ray's insightful commentary and engaging style. But what you might not know is that before he was dropping knowledge and entertaining the trading industry, he was dominating the poker world as a professional poker player. You heard that right. From the high stakes world of cards to the fast paced realm of trading, our guest today has lived a full life of calculated risk and big wins. Get ready for a fascinating conversation about the crossover between these worlds and how they shaped All Day Ray into the successful podcaster and entrepreneur he is today. So, Ray, welcome to Unfiltered. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Wow, I'm taken aback by that intro. I thought I gave pretty good intros. That was really flattering. Detailed. I really like that. Thanks for that. That was really nice.
I always like, to talk my guest up a little bit, makes them feel good.
It sure does. I try and do the same. I'm feeling real good. It's good being on the other side for once.
Nice, nice. Well, I had your co-host JJ from Confessions of a Market Maker here on Unfiltered last week, and I was messing with him quite a bit on the mystery behind his gorilla picture.
Yeah.
But I mean, you are truly unfiltered all day, Ray, showing the face, no shame in it. I mean, do you have any special meaning behind the social media name?
Yeah, it was given to me by one of my football teammates when I was in high school when I was playing on the JV team. He was older than me. He was on the varsity team, but our lockers were right next to each other. So, those who grew up playing sports, when your lockers next to people, we're in there joking with each other, whatever. And he just like he was going to announce like the JV game. He was the announcer like over the intercom. And he was like, "Yo, Ray, like when you're out there, I'm gonna like." He loved to give everyone nicknames, and he's like, I'm gonna call you all day Ray." When you're out there, and I'm like, "Okay, sounds good." So every time I got a catch during the game, he was like, "All day Ray with the catch for 7 yards or whatever," and so I kind of liked it, and so it just stuck. And when I was playing poker, he mentioned I played poker in the intro. That was my first like poker screen name, All Day Ray,
Nice.
and so for any type of screen names, I just always kept it.
Very, very cool. All right, good to know. And I mean, since we're also mentioning the podcast, I mean, let's start right there. Like what started Confessions of a Market Maker? Like what was the original vision for that?
Yeah, the original vision was, to start, JJ was, I met JJ and, online and, this was kind of like our way to get out his, story. Obviously he's a very interesting character, lived a very interesting life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to kind of like get out his story, help educate people on that side of the business, to educate retail traders because most retail traders have no idea what goes on, the nitty gritty details of what goes on in the stock market. And then at the same time to train me really and educate me on the stock market because I was like, really the beginning of the podcast, I was like very green into trading. I mean, I've tried trading before a little bit here and there, nothing crazy. I was always kind of more or less in crypto accidentally from my poker days. Um, but that really was like my education was doing the podcast and like learning from JJ at the same time to like bring me along to like, okay, can we take this kid, turn him into a profitable trader?
Yeah. Yeah, nice, nice. That's awesome. Because I remember when JJ was here, he was talking you and Steve up. He was saying that you guys go above and beyond and that he was just there to look pretty.
Nah, he's obviously definitely selling himself short.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he's definitely a great guy. No, but all jokes aside, I mean, what has it been like working with JJ?
It's been fun for sure. I mean he's kind of, people like, because I have more contact with him, people are like, oh, well, what's he like? He's kind of like how he is on camera, honestly. Um, but he's funny, uh he's caring. He's just a good person. He's a genuine person. And we just have a lot of laughs. We just, talk about each other's like lives and stuff. Just like he's just like, like I mentioned, like, playing sports and like having that locker room type vibe. But like
Yeah.
that's why I think I really miss about sports, just like getting with the guys, joking around and stuff like that. Just the camaraderie, I guess. And like I think me and him share that for sure.
Nice, nice. Yeah, no, he's definitely a real down to earth guy. I really enjoyed speaking with him last time. So yeah, I get it.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right. Well, right, taking it back a bit because you do have a very interesting background, but I kind of want to know how it all started with Little Ray before All Day Ray took the spotlight. Like, where'd you come from? Where'd you grow up? What were your hobbies? I mean, did you get into any trouble as a kid? Like, give me the scoop.
Yeah, I did get into some trouble, but yeah, I mean, I was born in New York, but I didn't really spend too much time there. I moved to right outside DC in Northern Virginia. Um, and yeah, that's where I grew up. I mean, nothing crazy as far as that. Hobbies, um, like I've mentioned, I was always into sports. I was an athlete growing up, football. Also I played hockey as well. Um, which which was tough. That's a tough sport to play. A lot of commitment, but that was a lot of fun. Still a sport I enjoy to this day. Yeah, I guess not too much. I mean, I did. I mean, you just said trouble. Yeah, I did get into some trouble. Like after high school, yeah, I was getting into a bunch of trouble. I'll just say that. I'm not sure I will really want to go into details, but it led
All
me
right.
a little astray. But I actually found poker during that time. Not found poker. I always was dabbling in poker throughout high school, so illegally, essentially online. Those were really big online poker days.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
was dabbling in it and I always had a love for it. And then as I started getting older, some people I was hanging out with, they're like, all right, yo, let's go hit the casino and stuff. I was going to the casino and I was winning money playing poker because, I like anything I'm interested in, I'll put some like study and some work into it, try and figure it out, like what's the best strategies here. And during that time I found poker and I was kind of like, you know what, like maybe this is like something I want to pursue because I never saw myself as like a office desk person. I mean, I didn't finish
Right.
college. I didn't finish college. I never knew, you know what I mean? So, during that time, I kind of found poker and I was kind of like, you know what? Like, I think this is like, I saw other people making like a lot of money doing it.
Nice.
I'm like, you know what? Like, this is what I want to do.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean it is well documented that you were a professional poker player for some time. I mean, is there anything in specific that like led you to that? Like what caught your eye about it?
I well, I mean, my dad played. Like, that was my first introduction. Is
Nice.
during the online poker boom. So I want to say like 2004, maybe it started. Probably ran up until like 2010-ish. Then there was, it's called Black Friday, I think. I know that online poker got banned in the US. But during that run, there was a lot of money to be made playing online poker. A lot of, internet was still new at the time.
Yeah.
People didn't know how to, grandma and grandpa could just sign on, deposit a couple $100. It was like just a really big moment. I mean, a lot of people became millionaires. I mean, I wish I was born a little sooner. I think I could have even capitalized even more for sure. But my dad played. My dad was good, and I would used to. I mean, I remember I'd be young, like just sitting behind watching him, sitting behind him watching him play like throughout the night, and I was just like fascinated, just watching him win money. And I would like he bought books to study up on the strategy, and I would just sit there and I would consume all the books, learning about it. So it was always in the back of my mind,
Nice.
that's something I wanted to probably pursue.
Very cool. And I mean, what got you into then trading? Were you doing poker and trading at the same time, or did you do trading later down the road?
Well, yeah, I mean, trading definitely came like a little bit further down the road. Even though I was sort of I had a stint of like dabbling in trading a little bit while I was still playing poker. I think the full transition came when like I was getting burnt out slash um poker is becoming like tougher. Like your edge is getting smaller in poker, at least online poker. So I had, like I mentioned, it got banned in the US, but
Yeah.
you could still play online. You just have to play on some offshore site websites. So which I was doing. That's how I kind of stumbled on the Bitcoin because I had to, you could eventually start using Bitcoin to transact on these offshore accounts. But um over time, for various reasons, the edge in poker started getting smaller, not even close to what it used to be like when I mentioned when my dad was playing. And
Yeah.
so it's becoming tougher. You're winning less money. I started getting like, God, okay, like I mentioned, didn't go to college. I don't have a college degree. Um, do I just keep grinding poker? I wasn't really happy. I was getting burnt out. And so trading was kind of like, when I'm looking at like trying to figure out like, okay, what could I do to, you know, just get out of poker? Like what's my next step here?
Yeah.
And trading seemed like the logical choice at the time, at least. And yeah, that's what I did. And
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
That's a pretty good switch because I'm sure that you were able to take some of these techniques and poker skills into trading, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think and I think I've said this on the podcast plenty of times. Even some other people's podcasts I've gone on. The stuff I had to learn with trading was more of like the technical aspects, like the chart reading or
Right.
um yeah, things of that nature. Whereas like the psychology, I'd probably say it's essentially the same. Because I look at it, coming from I'll call it a gambling background, even though it's like edge gambling. You're gambling with probabilities on your side. Trading is the same thing in that respect, and I think like maybe it misleads some traders when they come. Like they don't view it as themselves gambling. I'm like, yo, you're gambling. You're betting on this
Yeah.
to go up, or you're betting on this to go down. And maybe if you're playing options, maybe you're betting on it to go sideways, that's a pretty cool. But um, so that whole mentality translated very well to where that wasn't something I needed to learn. Was it something I could improve on? For sure. And I definitely trading definitely helped improve my mental game for sure. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's just a function over time too, just maturing. But yeah, so for me, it was just more learning the strategies, what works for me. Um, yeah, and things of that nature.
Nice, nice. So
and
yeah, I
and the
mean,
business side of it, like what JJ teaches, then that was a huge just understanding from somebody who worked on the inside how the business of trading works was it's immensely useful.
yeah. Okay. I mean, having those poker skills, do you feel like those skills have given you an edge versus, other traders that may not have the same similar background as you?
I'm gonna be biased and probably say yeah. Because it's like I think it's like some people just have a mind for strategy.
Yeah.
Um and uh, I feel like I've, probably why I'm inclined to these things. And, I also play like daily fantasy sports. I don't know. I like figuring out problems. I like using strategy. I think some people are more suited towards that than others. So, I mean, so there can be, I remember there's a guy I interviewed, and he's a very impressive trader. He was a professional gamer before coming to trading. So
Nice.
I think so maybe not just having poker, but maybe having like a type of strategy competitive background I think is good. And obviously I think poker, there's a lot of parallels, but there's a lot of people who are tremendous traders, way better than me, that just had no background in any of that and just started trading. So, I think it kind of depends on somebody's like temperament, or their natural inclinations. But yeah, it lined up with my natural inclinations, and I would say for sure poker helped
Yeah, no, I definitely have to agree with you. I mean, it seems like that it was a good training ground for you to become this successful trader that you are nowadays.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And for everyone that's listening to us right now and they want to know, like what type of trader would you say you consider yourself to be? Like, do you back test? Do you use scans? Like anything that you can give the audience just to kind of give them a glimpse of, the trading that you do.
Yeah, yeah. I back test. I use scans. I I'm kind of like a mix of I am a systematic trader, but like I do my own execution as far as like initiating the trade, exiting the trade. Um, but heavily rely on like back testing to find me profitable strategies. Because I need like I can't I know there's some traders who can just look at a chart, take trades, kind of just like off of intuition or not looking at like historical numbers. Like I need that type of stuff. It's how I was trained in poker, really. So I just, I need that stuff, and I think it's important. Honestly, I'm not sure how people are just able to go off intuition. I mean, some people are maybe
Right.
just blessed that way. I'm not. So I'd say I'm systematic, but I do my own executions, and I will give like a little leeway to the system. Like I'll step in a little bit, maybe if like because there is something to intuition for sure. Um, I used to be like too rigid. Um, you can like and but you have to have good reasons for it, and this is really tricky, really complicated, and I go wrong sometimes too. Um, but like you can understand your system, like, and you can know when to override your system because there are still limitations to a system.
Yeah.
Um, and so and I think that's the benefit to running systems consistently because then you'll see like how to change it. Maybe you see like you're starting to get intuition and like, okay, it keeps like you're stopping out too quick of a trade. Okay, now let me go back and back test and extend the hold time a little bit more. And so, it helps you refine your systems as well. And yeah, and I back tested and then it alerts the scans to the trades. And so that's what appeals to me, and I have both long and short strategies, though I definitely lean a little bit more on the short side. So I have like day trading strategies, and I have some like small time frame swing trades, like maybe like couple like 3 to 5 days, and that's on the long side. Yeah.
Now, part of your trading journey, you manage equities, ETC, on the side of micro E futures in the trading room. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, fairly straightforward. I mean, I know there's like, a lot of trading Discord communities. So we're a Discord community on our side. So, you got JJ side, they got the futures side of things, and that's like the main part of it. But for us and people in the room who like to trade equities, we're over there talking our trades throughout the day, um, how we're seeing the market. I mean, I think we're a little more uh apt to tell jokes over there. I think we're a little looser. We like to have fun. Anyone who listens to the podcast probably knows like I'm a little looser. I'm not too uptight.
Yeah.
So we do that, and then we also got some like which I like to like I mentioned, I'm into like DFS. So we got like sports and like sports betting like channels. We got that like that's cool. We got well, what else? We got crypto. Yeah, there's a crypto room in there, which I'm into crypto for sure. And so we got some good crypto traders in there. And so yeah, just people in there talking their trades and strategy and stuff of the like.
Okay, very cool. And I mean, you've already mentioned twice DFS, and I mean, I wanted to bring that up because that is a little known fact about you that not many people do know. I mean, you're one of the most successful daily fantasy sports players on Underdog and DraftKings. I mean, to tell me what led you to that.
Not DraftKings. I'm still working on that.
Okay,
Underdog.
okay.
Underdog maybe. Underdog, yeah. I mean, I think I'm one of the better players on Underdog for sure. Yeah, I think like I've already mentioned a few times, like I grew up as an athlete,
Yeah.
grew up playing sports. I watch sports, so why not make money off of watching it? And yeah, no, I really enjoy it. I mean, I hate to say this, but I enjoy it more than trading, honestly. Um,
Oh, okay.
it's uh it's just like it because it satisfies like that strategy aspect. You get to play like it's introduced me to some different sports I kind of wasn't always paying attention to. And the edge is pretty good. The edge is pretty good for sure. Um, and so yeah, it just combines my love of strategy,
Yeah,
combines my love of sports. Um, and it's a newer, at least Underdog. Underdog's like a newer um platform compared to like DraftKings has been around for a while. FanDuel's been
right.
around for a while, and I was once again kind of like bringing this back to poker. I was like a little late to poker during the boom years. I was a little late to DraftKings during their boom years. I have not been late to Underdog. I was like fairly earlyish, maybe not the earliest person on Underdog, but fairly early enough to where like I was able to like get a good strategy, figure out what works, before like a bunch of other people come on. And it's like, because I saw this with poker, you gotta like you gotta maximize the edge when you have the edge,
Yeah.
because you don't know when the edge is going to dry up. And so, I've seen these things develop over time. And so, feel good about Underdog. Still feels like it has a ton of room for growth, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm maybe working on some projects surrounding like Underdog and stuff. So it's exciting. I really enjoy it.
Nice, nice. No, yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. All day Ray, working all day around the clock, wearing many hats. I mean, poker player, trader, podcaster. You run the equities trading room. I mean, daily fantasy sports player. Geez, Ray, what don't you do? No, you do it all for sure. I mean, and you're doing it well. You're doing it very well. And you're definitely killing it on Confessions of a Market Maker podcast. I mean, that show has well over 120 episodes with some very well-known guests such as Mark Cuban, Patrick Bet-David. I mean, I have to ask because I'm really curious. Like, what is it like interviewing them?
um, cool. Very, very humbling. Cool, humbling. I remember interviewing the mayor of Miami. That was a really cool one. Like a politician, and at the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
I mean, he did. I think he did it now. I mean, he dropped out of the presidential race, but he was going to. I mean, I still have an open bet on him to win the Republican ticket, but this guy's like, I'll put you. You can bet on politics. But that was a really cool one, humbling. Because I'm like, yo, me interviewing a politician, what the hell, Um, but
Oh,
yeah, I guess just humbling. I don't know what else to say. I guess too, it's also like uh giving me some confidence because I talk to these people
yeah,
like off camera a little bit. And they were all and all of them have been like real gracious or like complimentary. Um, I remember interviewed a guy, a big guy in the crypto world, Pomp. That was really cool. So yeah, it's just it's just humbling.
yeah. I mean, you're so laid back about it. I'm just like, oh man, like I don't know. How do you prep for these interviews like that? You don't get nervous at all or intimidated?
No, I think I definitely. I don't know. I mean, I guess as far as the intimidation, I guess it comes down to like your beliefs, right? But it's like we're all human beings,
Yeah.
um, created equal. Um, you know, I feel confident in myself to a degree that like um I've done my prep work, right? So like you said, like you come
Right.
in prepared for an interview and I just, I believe like okay, like this is what I'm meant to do. I got this person. I'm at least gonna give it a chance, right? If I screw up, I screw up, It's like one of those things. Oh
Yeah.
well, like I'm gonna throw myself in the arena. It's like that quote by Teddy Roosevelt, like, about being the man in the arena. It's like easy to criticize from the outside, the guy who's in the arena, but I want to at least be the guy in the arena.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's a good thing sports taught me too, right? You throw yourself in there and you compete. And that's kind of how I look at it, and I look back at the early days of the podcast and I think I was like not good at all. um, but you got to like just throw yourself in there and then you learn. Or, we're human beings, we adapt, we learn over time.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Sometimes we just got to take ourselves out of the comfort zone. But
Hmm.
yeah, all right. Well, from host to host, Ray, I mean, what advice can you give me, to another fellow podcaster?
Yeah, I guess I'll, kind of like some of the things I said before. And maybe people are different too, like and I'm sure people are different in their approach to podcasting or their preparation. But what I guess gives me the confidence, right, to interview some of these people like Cuban or Patrick Bet David, the mayor of Miami. Like I make sure I know the guest that I'm having on. So kind of like knowing them, maybe finding a little known tidbit of information about them that like you say to them that kind of makes them like know that like, oh, this guy did his research. Like I think they'll respect you for like knowing who they are, asking good questions. And so all of this, if you come prepared, it's going to be hard to get thrown off during the interview. You know what I mean?
Right.
And kind of like control the interview.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, like this person doesn't know what I'm going to ask. I'm coming in, I kind of got like an outline. I'm going to control like kind of the course of conversation. Um, or maybe okay, I feel comfortable to go off script because I kind of know about this person. Um, so yeah, do your prep work. That's at least that's what helps me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Definitely. All right. Well, I'm gonna throw this one out there. I know you mentioned that like quote on the arena, but do you have like any mottos that you live by?
Any mottos that I live by? Wow. There's so many. So many like good like mottos or quotes. I don't know. I mean that's a good one for sure. Um, I think one that I really like, and it's like a Zen saying, I believe. Um, knowing how to do, if you understand how to do one thing, you'll understand how to do all things.
Yeah.
So essentially, getting to like the essence of like being good at something, uh, y- you can teach yourself how to do other thing, it's
Yeah. It's building that
more.
confidence.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a spiritual saying at the same time as well. But I mean, you mentioned like, I can do a bunch of different things. And I think like, and if we're gonna bring like a trading analogy, I think it's more about like not winning or losing. It's about understanding the process to get good at something and almost like stripping away like being results oriented. This is something poker taught me as well, right? Because like you can do something very well and like still not succeed,
Yeah.
right, on a given day. But if you just focus on honing it, like refining your process of doing something and figure out what works, maybe look to other people who've been successful, see what they do, what their process is. um that's how you get better. That's how you get better at things, and that's how you learn how to do things. And there's there's plenty of successful people who do like many 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 different things. um but obviously you don't want to spread yourself too thin. But I've always liked that saying, and it's really resonated with me. And there's so many other good sayings, but I like that motto.
Nice, nice. All right, very cool. Well, I mean, before I wrap it up here, Ray, is there anything else that you would like to share? Maybe where and how our audience can reach you?
Yeah, if you want to reach me, you can message me on Twitter. um if you're in the room, you could DM me on Discord. You can find us in there. Yeah, and just anyone, hit me up for whatever. Any questions, advice, just to shoot the shit, whatever.
All right, that's awesome. Well, Ray, thank you so, so much. I mean, this has been a fascinating dive into the world of poker, trading, daily fantasy sports. I mean, I've got to say, Ray, your insights were absolutely golden. I mean, it's clear that your experience in these high stake arenas, like you mentioned, have shaped you into the incredible entrepreneur that you are today. So, thank you again for being here. And for everyone listening, be sure to check out All Day Ray at Confessions of a Market Maker podcast for more amazing content. And make sure you're also taking advantage of the Microwave Future 7-day free trial. I'll put that on the link below, on the description below. You can click on that link. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to follow us on X, aka Twitter, for any upcoming show updates and much more. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. We'll be back next week with another incredible guest. Until then, keep hustling and chasing your dreams.